Good morning. So today is all about heat embossing. I've been asked to just demonstrate some basics to get you started with heat embossing. So there's various ways you can do it. The things you definitely need is a heat gun. Mine's from Stampin' Up, but you can get them from any craft shop. Stampin' Up also does this amazing kit which gives you this tray, reverse tweezers, which are great. These are I don't know, probably plastic, but they stop your fingers getting burnt, and an embossing buddy, as well as this little tray which you can unscrew to pour your embossing powder back into your little pots. Now, because I'm going to be kind of moving from one to the other quite quickly, I'm just going to use a little plastic pot that I have, but I will be using my tweezers on my embossing buddy. So when you're doing any embossing, you need a Versamark. Okay, that's a Versamark stamp pad, and it's clear. So I'm going to do a couple of different examples with that. Now, what I absolutely love when I'm using white embossing powder is, rather than just using the Versamark and the white embossing powder, I stamp first in the white ink and then use the white powder. And I will show you the difference between the two, so you can see. I just think when you use the white ink pad and then the white powder, you get a much clearer emboss. Also, when you get, if you order this from the craft white stamping pad from Stampin' Up, it comes with the white stamping ink, and when it comes, it's completely dry. Now, mine has got ink on it, but I will show you how I apply that. The Versamark, you don't need to do anything. And then I've got a couple of colours, so I'm going to show you how to use the Versamark and a coloured ink pad, and the Versamark and just I've got some copper powder there. Right, okay. So first things first, I think we'll start with the white. Now, I've got, you can either use a spoon, or this is like an old room key from actually a cruise, but you could use the hotel one if you got them. I don't know why we never seem to leave them behind or throw them away. So as I say, when you get this white ink pad, it will be completely dry, and it will just look like this bit here, the actual like pad. And then you need to take your refill. Now, I usually do it in a Z. Come on, there we go. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then turn it around and go the other way, because you do want really good coverage. Now, obviously, mine's already got some on, but we can see if we can get it to the edges this time. Okay. And then what I do is take this, because you want it to be smooth all over. You don't want it to be really heavy in one place and no coverage in another, and then I just run over my ink pad with that and smooth. You can use the back of a spoon just as easily. I'm just going to wipe that bit of ink off there. Okay, so that's how kind of easy that is to do. Now, I've got a little plastic pot which I find very helpful. It doesn't have to be this big, it can be smaller. Right, now I need some paper. Okay, so because we're going to be stamping in white, I've got a piece of Coastal Cabana. Now, what should I stamp? I know, actually, I did Trick or Treat in black on that side. Why don't we do Trick or Treat in white on the other side? Where's my Trick or Treat stamp set? This is a sneak peek of one that's coming in the new mini catalogue. Getting ready to do some swaps. So Trick or Treat. I mean, normally I would do it in black, but I actually don't have any black embossing powder, interestingly. I guess I never use it. So just going to line that up, put that on my block. Now I'm going to take my white ink pad and stamp it. Actually, I'm going to do it on the grey, just for the simple reason that I want to show you the comparison when I don't use the white ink pad. So I'm going to just stamp that, take my little pot and quickly sprinkle some white powder on. There we go. And you also, the other thing you get in this kit, if I can find it, goodness knows where that's gone, is a brush. My brush has gone walkabout. It's a lovely brush actually. I've got another one, but the Stampin' Up! One is much better. It's quite big. So just want to get any excess that's around your words off. Okay. And then I'm going to take my heat gun. I'm going to take it away now. Probably best to cover that up. And I will also close. Once you've got the powder onto your words, you have a bit of time. You just don't want the ink to dry before you get your powder on. And I always do it from behind because it makes it smoother, I think. If you need it quickly, then just do it from the top. In fact, on my Facebook Friday last week, not Facebook Friday, Friday with Fiona last week, I think I showed you the difference. Okay, so it's coming now, you can see that. Trick or treats. It's a big bit of cards. I haven't used my tweezers. When I do the orange bit, I will do. And the other thing you want to do is just gently touch it. And if it's still tacky, which it is, it's not completely embossed. And I do move my, either move my card around or move my heat gun around just to try and get it good coverage. I think that bottom T needs a bit more. Yeah, that's not tacky. Right, so that is the white ink with the white powder. Now, I obviously missed getting rid of some of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean my stamp on my chamois. And I'm just going to stamp, put Versamark on it. Just make sure it's dry before I do that. Bit of kitchen roll. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use the Versamark, and again then I want to put my powder straight over it, so I'm going to have that ready, giving it good coverage. And then white straight over it. And to me, you might not be able to see on camera, but it is a bit paler. But you can do it entirely whichever way you prefer. Okay, so that's it for the white. I'm just going to pop this back into the pouch. I do it over a bin because, trust me, I have thrown powder all over myself before. Okay, so now I'll just carry on with the trick or treat. So use the white. Use this. Actually, I'm going to do a different stamp because I want to show you some different effects with it. Right, okay. So let's pop that away. Now, if you don't, see, I have friends and customers who don't like colouring. You can take a line stamp. So I've got the Trucking Along. Now, normally you would have to colour that in. So I'm going to do this onto a piece of white. and I will do it with the pecan pie. Now again, you need to have your ink pads ready because you have to be quick before the Versamark. Oh, the other thing is you must rub this. That's what I didn't do on the grey. Rub this embossing buddy across and it stops the embossing powder sticking where you haven't stamped. So Versamark first on my truck. No, I've done that wrong. Turn that card around. Versamark on my truck and then straight onto the ink pad. So the Versamark is actually underneath the pecan pie. I might have not been quick enough for this. And then I'm going to just do clear. My Stampin' Up brush has gone. It's probably fallen on the floor. But you can see there's, because I went round with the embossing buddy, there's no I'm just going to put the lid on that before I start heat embossing. I might need to do this again because I'm not sure I was quick enough getting my embossing powder on. But it's a great way if you want to use different colours. Yeah, I did quicker. It's a great way if you want to use different colours. So I did it onto white. You can now use a blending brush, or you could use your blends and whatever and colour, and it wouldn't go either. You know, it wouldn't bleed basically. But if you did it onto coloured cardstock, right? Let's have a bit of Coastal Cabana. I've just got some ink on my fingers. Let's get that off. Right. So let's do it again. Making sure I'm getting all that pecan pie off. Okay. Right, now I've got a bit of I think it's Pool Party actually, but it'll show up better. I'm going to do it in Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to have my Lost Lagoon ready. So I'm going to ink up my truck straight onto my coloured ink pad. Do you know what? I didn't use the embossing buddy. So I'm going to turn it over because it will just stick otherwise and start again. I always forget to use my embossing buddy. I don't know why. Right, let's go try it again. So ink up with Versamark, then with my Lost Lagoon, and stamp onto my Pool Party. Now obviously if you want to use colour on colour, you'd use the same colour. Now I'm going to get my clear. Now because I used the embossing buddy, it hasn't stuck all over. So let's go again. You see it coming. It's still a bit tacky. Let's give it another 2 seconds. Right, got ink on my fingers again. Thumb. Don't know how to do that. Okay, just going to clean my truck. Okay, now this time, so I could just punch that out and have a blue truck, which I think I will do. because I'm prepping for next week's Friday with Fiona, which is the trucking bundle. So I'll just put that to one side. Okay, now the other thing I wanted to show you is using a coloured embossing powder. So I've got copper here. You could use whatever you've got. I mean, I know let's have a look actually in the catalogue. So the Stampin' Up! Embossing, page 137. Okay, there we go. So the Stampin' Emboss powders, you get them in packs. So you get a pack of basic, which is black, clear and white, or you can get the metallics, which is copper, gold and silver. Okay, so I've shown you the white, I've shown you the clear. Have I shown you? Yeah. Now I'm going to show you using the metallic. Okay, so I'm not going to use the truck. I'm going to use a lovely sentiment. Oh, actually, I know what. Let's use so this is again, it's a new stamp set from the mini. I love Halloween. Now this is not one that you would colour in. This is filled in one. Okay, so let's just get rid of my clear powder. Now I just make sure that my tub is cleaned out so that I don't get any mixing up of embossing powders. Okay, so I've got my copper here. I'm going to stamp in Versamark, just Versamark. I want to make sure it's got good coverage because, as I said, it's a fully inclusive one. Stamp that. Whoops, didn't use the embossing buddy. So can you see that? Because I didn't use the embossing buddy, I've got like flecks of powder all over the place. Now don't worry about it using a lot, which I'm doing, because you're just going to put it back into the tub. That's not very good at all, actually. Let's start again. And so I'm going to, because I haven't heat set it, I can just wipe it off. That's the great thing about it. And it's also wiped off the image, but I'm just going to turn the card over. Now I'm going to use my embossing buddy, and hopefully you'll see the difference. So I need my Versamark again. I'm just going to clean it because I don't know how clean an image I got last time. Okay, make sure that's dry. Right, so I've used my emboss. Just going to do it again. Paranoid about it now. And embossing Versamark onto the stamp. Give it a good press down. And then get the powder on it as quickly as I can. That's much better because I used the embossing buddy. Now you can see I've nearly emptied this pot, but that's okay. It will, oh, I've obviously missed a bit on the stamp there. That's annoying. I have a secret that I can show you with you to do that. So it's just a little bit of excess because I've been so generous with it. Now this is like quite a big stamp to be fully embossed. So there are some gaps on the door and on the right hand side of the first level of the roof. So I'll show you. So can you see on my door, I've got a big gap and just here. So what I've got is, now Stampin' Up don't carry these. It's a water mark pen, and you have two ends. You have the thick end, you can see how well used it is, and the thin end. You'll be able to get those in any craft store. So I'm just going to colour in where there's a gap. And that is Versamark again. And then all I'm going to do is put my powder over it. And it's filled in the gaps, you can see that. And then we're going to emboss. And there you go. How cool is that? So I didn't have to waste all that embossing powder by throwing it away and starting again. I've just literally filled in the gaps. It's a really useful tool, and I'm sure you'd be able to get it either from Amazon or so again it's called a Versamarker, and you probably, I'm sure Amazon will have them. Right, let me get this back here. Now I'm going to do a sentiment, and I'm going to show you the difference from heat, using the heat gun above and below, just so you can see the difference. So you can see my pot was nearly empty, and I've just put it all back in, and there's loads in there again. I'm just going to wipe that out, make sure it's getting rid of all the copper. Okay. So last but not least, let's, where's my stamp gone? Oh, there it is. Right, just clean that, pop that away. And I'm going to show you the difference, but we'll use a sentiment this time. So I've got a nice big sentiment here. Let's do happy birthday. This is go-to greetings, and it's a really big happy birthday. I think I'm going to need a bigger block. Longer, not bigger. Right, okay, so what colour should we do this in? Let's do it in happy birthday. How about let's do it in a nice oh, I'll do it, yeah, I'll do it with the silver, I think, because that will show up quite nicely. Okay, so again, get my silver ready. Embossing buddy. Now, don't do what I do and forget to use it, because it really does make a difference. Okay, so I'm going to take my Versamark. And you can't see in the camera, but I can actually see if I've got full coverage under the light. I'm just going to stamp that and get my silver powder over it as quickly as I can. Oh, I thought I was doing happy birthday. I'm doing thinking of you. Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to heat emboss from behind, as I have been doing, and then I will do one right next to it. Lovely in the silver. I love silver and gold for Christmas. So can you see if I can get the camera angle right with the light? Okay, so this time I'm going to heat emboss from above. That looks okay. I'm just going to put my Versamark on and check I've got the coverage. Just do it over here. It makes it much easier if you've got a slightly, you know, kind of a decent sized pot, because you don't want it going all over the table. You really don't, because I had that and it went all over me. It was dreadful. Right, so now I'm going to do it from the top. Okay, I don't know if you can actually see that on the camera, but it is much more speckled, particularly on the flourish. Really got a clean embossing there. It even looks thinner. So I hope that helps you with your heat embossing. I have to say, I just love it when you know you have nothing and then it starts to fill in. It's just like magic to me. So if there's anything else I can help you with, please don't hesitate to ask, and I really hope you have fun. It's great for Christmas cards, especially if you've got a lovely font like that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to shout if you've got any questions. Bye.